Last week in the Host Sprint Series, we were at Darlington Raceway and the track Too Tough to Tame. Well, in just a slow start on the season, Dylan still even won last Wednesday night. And tonight, you're underneath the lights at Bristol Motor Speedway for the first of two short track races in a row. It is race number 11. The Host Sprint Series is Sprint Series 9 America for the Tennessee 200. Hello everyone, it is Nathan Stadium here, and welcome to Bristol Motor Speedway, and welcome to the first of two short track races in a row for the Sprint Series. Of course, tonight is Bristol Motor Speedway, and then next week it will be South Boston. But first things first is Bristol, and it's going to be an interesting one on how everything plays out. Definitely want to win the bottom, and if you want to make a pass, you might have to rough up some fenders here tonight and get a little bit of short track racing here underneath the lights. And we got Matthew Hubert back on the booth for this one. Welcome to Bristol Motor Speedway.
Yeah, we're back here at Bristol Motor Speedway after what happened last year in the Cup Series. Hopefully we don't have the type of carnage that race had, and assuming it's similar, although we're using a different Bristol this time round, it's going to be interesting to see how the outside lane, especially with Matt Black leading the lane in the 69, how they might fare at the start of the race especially.
That's a very good point. We don't really know what to expect with the outside lane versus the inside lane, and it could be a scenario where you want to get to the bottom as soon as possible and you might drop bet, or it might also be where the outside lane can challenge. We don't really know what to expect here, but we do know what to expect is a fairly dominant season from Alexander this week in the number 37 on the pole, and he already has 3 wins, 5 top 5s, 6 top 10s, and this is his second pole on the season. And he has an 8-point lead over Harry Anderson Jr. in second. B.B. Ruiz is in third, minus 12. Campbell Welsh is in fourth, minus 17. Matt Black is in fifth, minus 20. Chase McClure is in sixth, minus 21. Anna Abel is in seventh, minus 28. Anna Williams is in eighth, minus 31. Carlos Miller is in ninth, minus 32. And then Corey Case rounds out the top 10, minus 33. The top 10 in points are all in the field here tonight. And here are the drivers here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. It is our point leader, Alexander Rowe, in the number 37. And alongside him is in the number 69 of Matt Blatt. Then we got the number 39 of Campbell Marsh and the number 90 of Matthew Hall. The 57 of B.P. Ruiz and the 56 of Joshua Neely. Roll number 4 is J.O. Rippleton and the 52 of Nathan Aljaboye. Roll number 5, running out the top 10, is last week's winner, Dylan Sean Even, making a fairly good impression so far in just 3 starts, and alongside him it's the 82 of Carson Miller. The 64 this week is Alexis Selspin, and the number 99 of Corey Case. The 87 of Cement Oskin, and the 4 of Anna Williams. The 96 of Hallie Anderson Jr. and the 97 of Marco Espinal Blatt. The number 50 Chase McClure and the 98 of Aaron Abel. The number 93 of Sammy Camara and the number 02 of Garrett Sandoska. And then 4 new drivers, 5, Sandoska's back in 02. The number 1 of Nathan Faden, the number 13 Zane Davison is back, and then the number 88 this week made his first start on the season in James Bird, and the number 81 of Nick Inslee rounding out the 24 car field. And, well, it's Bristol. It's short track racing for the first of 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to put you on the spot, Matthew. Who do you think will win the Tennessee 200?
Well, if you want to think about track position, starting in the top 10 is a good starting position. I'm looking specifically at the guy starting in 5th position in the 57 for Andrews Racing there. Beaver Ruiz hasn't got a win yet on the season, I don't think. He does have a good shot there to possibly get past points leader Alexander Rowe, the Campbell Marsh up there, Matt Black. All of those guys top 5 in the point stands. It's going to be interesting to see how they'll fare.
Brad Pitt released on a up and up throughout the season. Alexander Rowe and Matt Blatt will lead us to the green, and they're racing underneath the lights for the Tennessee 200. A little bit of a close call around third place there on lap number 1, but it will be led by Alexander Rowe in number 37, Cameron Marsh in second, and it looks like it is what we kind of expected. It's not going to be the outside lane here tonight, it's going to be the bottom, and this could be a little bit sketchy. 3 wide at Bristol.
Yeah, and you know who's on the inside lane? That's second place in points. Haley Anderson, Chase McClure, 6th in points, I'm pretty sure, in the 50 isn't too far behind. Thankfully, they got through it relatively clean. Almost made freeway up there with Matt Black, Dylan Selson. No, that's not right. Dylan in the 05. They got through it relatively clean. Matt Oskin got past them for the top 10 as Dylan Selsman almost hit the wall. Allowed Nathan Fain to pass him.
Sienna even last week's went into the outside wall, and now BB Ruiz all over the back bumper of the number 39 of Campbell Marsh. And looks like this is going to be the case. You need to do the old school bumper one here tonight if you want to get past someone, and you gotta be careful to not get into the outside wall. Campbell Marsh holding up, I think, BB Ruiz here. Alexander Rowe out front and looking to get his 4th win in 11 races this season. I think if Ruiz can get past Marsh, we might have a battle for the race lead. Getting a good one on exit, and this is basically old school Bristol, the way that this is shaking out. Want to be on the bottom. Ruiz trying a little bit higher lane, not going to quite get there. Got the number 3 of J.O. Whippleton in 4th. And then how about this, the 64 of Alexis Selspin in the top 5. Matt Black in 6th. The 87 of Samantha Oskin. 96 of Hallie Anderson Jr. And then the 50, that is Tracy McClure having a quiet one right now inside the top 10. And running out of the top 10 is the 9-3 of Sammy Camara. And it is all. Oh, here we go, side by side. A great move from Ruiz for second.
Yeah, I was thinking there, if I was V. Ruiz, I would have probably wait to try and get by the 39 Campbell Marsh. Maybe save up his stuff towards the end of the run as Ribbleton really ending it there on the 39 as Matt Black there getting by Alex Selspin into the 5th position. I was about to say, Ribbleton, or no, not Ribbleton, Ruiz rather, has a 1.5 second gap to Alexander Rowe. Maybe now's the point that hopefully he could start pushing his stuff, maybe try and catch that 37 before he gets too hard of a gap.
And unfortunately, that is not the case. Alexander Rowe gained a little bit last time by, and this time by he is going to gain again. He's gaining a 10th and a half to 2/10 a lap, and is up to almost a 2-second advantage. Littleton with a good one. Matt Black is all over the back bumper of his 39. Seeing some good battles all over the racetrack. Just Alexander Rowe is dominating right now here in the sprint series. Battles all over the place. Nathan Faye making a move, and Chase McClure. That's what just happened. He got stuck up top. He's going to get into the outside wall a little bit, and he just fell back like a walk. And right now, it stayed about the same last time by between the top two. And one thing that we might have to take into a factor, as unfortunately Corey Case is last, maybe, just maybe, we see lap traffic only with 24 cars here at Bristol.
Now, it's harder to get by lap traffic with 24 cars rather than 42, as Campbell Marsh is just losing ground. Got passed by a 69 Black, got passed by Samat Oskin, getting passed by his own teammate there of Sammy Camara for a 6th position. Not too good of a start for Campbell Marsh, who's currently 4th in the standings, if I'm not mistaken. Not really good when Alexander Rowe has almost a 2-second gap lead at Bristol.
Yeah, a very, very tough night for Campbell Motion. That is just a factor of old school Bristol that we are seeing here tonight. Don't want to be on the outside lane whatsoever. Impressed by both of these drivers, the 64 of Selspin and then the 13 of Zane Davidson, but still deep in the field here tonight and worked his way inside the top 10. Might even get a 9th spot on Soulspin. Chase McClure as well made some moves. Both of my cars started deep in the field and also made moves. So that start of the race was very chaotic, as we saw. And now we want as much trap position as possible. And Davidson's trying to get there, almost halfway through the Tennessee 200 already. And it's been clean and green so far, with a couple of bumper ones in between. It is very getting stacked up behind these guys. When basically sits on a bat, it is a stack up of cars and a train of cars here at Bristol, but it is all out in a row. Looks like he's getting caught a little bit, and that's the thing. Maybe Alexander has a short run car, and now that we're almost halfway through, maybe he might get caught here.
It's gonna be hard to tell. We're still halfway through the race, so anything could happen. Wink, wink. But Alexander Rowe already going for his 4th start in 11 races so far this season, which is almost a third of races ran so far. And the gap has kind of shelled from, caution is out.
No caution, actually.
No, that isn't a caution. Someone might have just spun off of off the backstretch. Not sure who that was. Might have been Campbell Marsh.
It might have been Campbell Marsh. I don't see the 39 anywhere inside the top 10. And that is unfortunate. You guys will see what happened in the corner of the screen. No caution here, and it looked like it might have been Campbell Marsh. All the way back and outside the top 20 now for 4th in points.
Yeah, that kind of stuff can happen. Getting hooked off the back bumper of another competitor now. Matt Black looking to try and challenge BB Ruiz for 2nd. Let's see if he doesn't burn up his stuff going to 20 laps to go. Maybe try and challenge Alexander Rowe, as he has put a 2.3 second gap next time by. So that's almost half a second last time I checked between Rowe and Ruiz.
Just absolutely pulling away. Did lose a little bit of ground last time by, but he's at the point where he doesn't need to push it. He has a big enough lead where he does not need to really go too hard on the car. And we really have a train from 7th on bat. Zane Davidson still deep in the field, and he is up to 7th. Great one from that 13 machine. Great one from Hallie Anderson Jr. 2nd in points. Still going to get a good top 10 one as of now. And then on the Williams side by side with last week's run of stand even. It looks like he does have damage from getting into the wall earlier. And I think Matt Blatt and B. Ruiz, especially Ruiz, looks like he is catching up with the 37. And oh boy, this could get interesting. We might catch up with lap traffic. We might catch up with Corey Case, Matthew Hall, Campbell Marsh, and others. And that, if we catch up to a lap traffic, that could be a factor. But I think Alexander might be slowing down a little bit. Maybe trying to make sure he doesn't catch up with lap traffic. It's just a 2-second lead, and he is losing a 10th last couple of laps.
Now, you don't need to lose too much speed too quickly, or else you could see Ruiz and Matt Black right up your gearbox in 10 laps or so. But no, that gap is stabilizing in about 2 seconds. And like you said, if he does get into lap traffic, he'll need to get by those guys as fast as possible. With Corey Case, Matthew Hall, of course we saw Campbell Marsh spun out, and everyone else in front of them.
And lap traffic could be a factor here. It's kind of impressive to see this with only 24 cars, but this might be a preview for the World Cup Series race here this weekend. With 42 cars instead of 24, we might see a lot of lap traffic in that race. It's been all Alexander Roll from the pole trying to get his fourth win on the scene, but it is down to 1.3 seconds. Alexander Roll is really trying to not catch up with lap traffic, or his car is just falling off out of nowhere. These two are catching up. BB Ruiz and Matt Blatt might have a shot here with 12 laps to go. And it stayed about the same, but it went from 2+ seconds to down to 1.3 in just a couple of laps.
Yeah, you're saying that there. Bieber Ruiz might have turned on the ignition at just the perfect time, as he gained 2/10 that time by. And don't look now, Campbell Marsh is not too far ahead of the 37 of Rowe. If you're Alexander Rowe, you're probably thinking what you need to do. You had an 8-point gap to Haley Anderson Jr. at this point, but you don't want to get put up on the high line, potentially by a lap car.
This is going to get very, very interesting. We got first in points and third in points. First and second on the racetrack. And then fourth in points, who's unfortunately got spun, is right in front of them. It is a 9/10 of a second gap between BB Louise and Kevin Lash. Actually, it just jumped up to 1 second between Alexander Rowe and BB Louise. But now, 37 is stuck behind lap cars. They are side by side in front of them. The 39 is going to go up the racetrack a little bit, and this is all right in front of our race leader of Alexander Rowe.
And just like that, the gap that he had put on the rest of the field is quickly drying up. And right now, BB Ruiz, that's the first time the gap was under a second in. Geez, that's been over half the race. And just as I said that, Ruiz is getting stuck behind Matthew Hall. And that gap only increased to 9/10, so it's not over yet, but there's only 4 laps to go next time by.
Unfortunately for BB Ruiz, he was not able to get past the 90 and the 39 when he could, and that's going to cost him here because laps go by very quickly here, about 15-16 seconds, and we only have 3 laps to go. This race will be over in less than a minute, and unfortunately for Ruiz, it's going to be a second, maybe even a third place run, as these guys are just stuck behind Hall and Kelba Marsh, and Matthew Hall is trying to get that position on the 39 machine, but it's going to be 2 laps to go for Alexander Rowe, the Sprint Series dominator this season in the Sprint Series. 3 wins already, and he just puts on a clinic here tonight. 1 more half mile to go. Final lap for Alexander Rowe in the number 37. These guys are not going to get by the lap traffic, and once again, we might as well give him the title now, even though we got 20 races to go. Alexander Rowe will win number 4 on the season, and he will win the Tennessee 200 in dominating fashion.
Wow, and he led every single lap. That's even more impressive for Alexander Rowe. That's possibly going to extend his lead by over a dozen points now on the rest of the field. A really impressive run. Already 4 wins on the season. Not sure if that's going to be enough to clinch a championship yet. We're only third of the way into the season. But I like where Alexander Rowe's going so far.
Alexander Rowe's trying to make a statement this season. 4 wins in 11 races. We still have 20 more to go, but at this rate, in the equal weighting series, he could get double-digit wins. That would be something to behold, but a dominating win here tonight from Alexander Rowe. 4th win on the season. Another great one from BB Ruiz. I think that might be back-to-back top 5s for him this season. And another Green 1 for Matt Black in third. Fifth in points, he had a good one here tonight. Trey Whippleton in fourth. Sammy Kamara in fifth. Zane Davidson started deep in the field and he gets a top 6. Hallie Anderson Jr. continues the top 10 streak. That is 8 top 10s out of 11 races for Hallie Anderson Jr. But the bad thing is that Alzheimer keeps on getting top 5s instead of top 10s. Tracy McClellan in 8th, Samantha Oskin in 9th, and Aaron Abel rounds out the top 10. Ian Williams in 11th, last week's winner of Dylan Sandeven in 12th. Marco Espino-Bretta in 13th, Alexis Selspin in 14th, James Baird in 15th, Nathan Adjaboye in 16th, Nathan Van in 17th, Nick Inslee in 18th, Carlson Miller, Joshua Neely, and Gilson Doska and Corey Case round out the 22 cars that were on the lead lap. And then, of course, Matthew Hall 1 lap down, and then Kevin Marsh, heartbreaker for that 2019, was running top 5, top 10, and then just got spun around. And, of course, you guys saw that in the corner of the screen. But, what a night, and what's the final thoughts here at Bristol, Matthew?
Well, it kind of proved my point as a start. You need to start well up front here at Bristol to try and get the best possible result. But as we saw, it isn't impossible to get a good result from further back. Just look at Zane Davidson. He started from 22nd, gained 16 positions in the space of 50 laps. That is impressive work for Zane Davidson.
It's definitely possible. That might be something that the drivers and others might be keeping an eye on during qualifying for the World Cup Series, and be like, hey, just because you started in the back does not mean you cannot pass. And that's exactly what that number 13 of Zane Davidson did. Thanks for Matthew Hubert for joining me up here in the booth. Good luck in the Cup race this weekend in the World Cup Series. Sign up for race 12 on the season for South Boston will be in a couple of minutes time at 7:30. Congratulations to Alexander Lowe on his 4th win on the season. Will he get 5 next week? We just have to wait and find out. Next week we are at South Boston. And until then, we will see you guys next week.